Hey everybody, today I'm doing something a little bit different than I normally do, and these glasses are not gonna work with that reflection, are they? No, they're not. So it's pouring rain outside. It's been raining all week, and now we're getting the effects of Hurricane Helene, and this hair and that rain do not mix. So I'm doing a little inside recording today, and I'm going to answer a question that somebody asked me, or one of you out there asked me. So the question is, what salary do I need to make in order to live in Apex? So we're gonna go through that today, but it also got me thinking, what other rainy day topics would you like to hear about? That's the first thing. And the second thing I'd love you to comment down below is, what other content would you like to see? One thing I've been thinking about is going out into the various towns, Apex, Cary, Holly Springs, Fuquay, and talking to actual residents of those towns about some of their favorite things and some of the things they don't like, to give you a real boots on the ground type of feel for what it's like to live there. So let me know what you think about any of those ideas down in the comments. Today, we are gonna calculate what salary you need to make in order to live in Apex. Here we go. Hey everyone, for those of you new here, I am Heather Taylor, founder of Tailored Realty Group, where we create real estate experiences tailored to who? That's right, tailored to you. And one more thing before we get started, if you're enjoying my content, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me. Okay, if you've been out there browsing the market, you know there are a lot of numbers that get thrown at you, and sometimes I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming. Interest rates, fluctuating home prices, inflation, what does it all mean? Today, my goal is to break it down for you so that you can have a really good understanding of how much money you need to make in order for a home in Apex to be affordable for you. Before we do any specific calculations, let's talk about 5 things that greatly impact your home affordability. Number 1 is interest rates. They have a huge impact on your monthly payment. A 1% increase in interest rates decreases your buying power by 10%. So keep that in mind. Rates really do matter. Number 2 is your down payment. Obviously, the more money you put down, the lower your loan amount is, and that will affect your monthly payment as well. Number 3 is your current debt. A lender is going to look at your debt to income ratio to help determine what loan you qualify for. And number 4 is your credit score. Obviously, a higher credit score means a lower interest rate, so you want to pay attention to what your credit score looks like. There's also things you can do in a relatively short period of time to impact your credit score, to raise that credit score. So you might want to talk to your lender about that. And the 5th and final thing is your property taxes and your insurance. These costs are going to vary, and we're going to get into that when we go through the whole calculation. So all these factors work together to determine how much home you can comfortably afford. Now, let's get into the actual affordability calculation. Conventional wisdom suggests that you should keep your housing expenses to approximately 30% of your gross monthly income. That means that if you're earning about $100,000 a year, that means you're making $8,333 a month before taxes. So you should aim to spend no more than $2,500 a month on your housing costs. That includes your mortgage, your property insurance, and your taxes. Of course, just like everything in life, there are situations where you're gonna break that rule. For example, if you have little to no debt and you're comfortable with a higher payment, you might push past that 30% threshold to afford a more expensive home or live in a more desirable location. On the flip side, you might have other financial goals, like you might be saving aggressively for retirement or paying off some other debts, building an emergency fund, whatever it may be. You may choose to stay well below that 30% mark to keep more money in your pocket each month. But for the purposes of this video, we're gonna stick with that 30% guideline as a standard measure for home affordability. Okay, so now that we've laid the groundwork, let's take a look at the cost of owning a median priced home in Apex. We're gonna look at a single family resale home, which is what most of my clients typically are looking for. And the median price for a single family resale home in Apex is around $660,000. Now we're gonna run this with 2 different scenarios. We're gonna do one where you put 5% down and another where you put 20% down. Both are gonna be a 30-year mortgage at an interest rate of 6%. I'll also include estimates for taxes and insurance so you can calculate your full monthly payment, which we sometimes call your PITI payment. That's your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Now I'm at home today, so I don't have my whiteboard with me, so I'm gonna count on my editor, Joe. Joe, I'm counting on you to do some great graphics to help people see what these scenarios look like. Let's start with scenario 1, a 5% down payment. Now, if you put 5% down on a $660,000 home, that would be $33,000, leaving you with a loan amount of $627,000. That means at 6% interest, your principal and interest payments are gonna be approximately $3,760. Property taxes, we're gonna estimate at $450 a month. Homeowners insurance, we're gonna estimate it at $150 a month. Now, with only 5% down, you're also gonna need PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. That's for anyone who puts less than 20% down. So PMI in this case is gonna be about $250 a month. So your total PITI payment will be $4,610. Okay, let's take a look at scenario 2, 20% down, which would be $132,000, leaving you with a loan amount of $528,000. Now, with 20% down, you won't need PMI, which is a nice bonus, so you can scratch that part of your payment off. Now at 6%, your monthly principal and interest payments would be around $3,165. Again, property taxes will estimate at $450 a month. Homeowners insurance estimate at $150 a month. So in the 20% down scenario, your PITI payment would be $3,765. Now that we have the monthly payments, let's calculate what gross income you would need to make these payments amount to 30% of your income. For scenario number 1, our 5% down scenario, you are gonna need a household gross monthly income of $15,367, which equates to an annual household income of $184,400. Now in scenario number 2, we're putting 20% down. That means you would need a gross monthly household income of $12,550 or a household gross annual income of $150,600. Hopefully these two scenarios were helpful for you. I was trying to consider my friends and how they operate. I have my high income earners that don't really save. For those people, a 5% down loan might be a great idea. And then I have other people who aren't as high income earning but do save really well. And for those people, they can get the same house as my 5% downs with 20% down and a lower annual income. So now that you have an idea of everything that is involved in figuring out affordability, the next step is to personalize it for your situation. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing and you want to get a clearer idea about what you can afford, please book a free consultation on my website. I would love to chat with you about this. That's all I've got for you this week. Oh, and if you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe, and feel free to drop a comment in the comments below and let me know if there's other content you would like to see. I'm out of here. Stay dry. I'll see you next week. Bye.